or complaint arising out of the nomination exercise for the 5 candidates that were successfully nominated. You know, nominations normally are characterized by complaints and petitions and counter petitions, but to the extent that this has gone well, no complaints, no petitions, we salute the people of Kalangala and the political parties and other actors that are involved in this process, because it shows that they did what they needed to do to prepare their candidates, to make sure that the necessary paperwork is in order, to make sure that the academic papers and all that is required to be in order. The campaigns have gone generally peacefully. We have not had incidents of violence of any significance, and the voters have been behaving in accordance with the law and following the guidance of the Electoral Commission. So far, so good. And from the Commission, we want to request everybody that is involved in this exercise to continue to keep peace, to continue to follow the guidelines and the electoral laws, so that tomorrow comes, the people come out in big numbers. Every registered voter, over 40,000, as you say, in Kalangala, should be able to get out and go to the polling station and cast their ballots and elect their district woman representative. Let us do it peacefully. Let us give an opportunity to the people of Kalangala to choose their district woman representative in an environment of calm and peace and tranquility, so that they can get their representation in Parliament.
Mr. Mchunguzi, does the lukewarmness of the campaigns speak to you about voter apathy? Does the lukewarmness speak to you about...
Simon, I do not know how you have measured lukewarm. I know lukewarm is a word that is used in the Bible, where they say you are either warm or hot, and you should not be lukewarm, that if you are lukewarm, you should be thrown in the lake that I'm seeing. I think the people have not noticed lukewarmness. The people, I believe, from what we see, you know, campaigns are characterized by different forms. Some may be loud, others may be door to door. Here it is island to island. So from what we see, we have every confidence that people are going to turn out tomorrow and cast their ballots, and that each one of the people that registered as a voter will turn out. But I think you are speaking to the issue of voter turnout. Am I correct?
Partly, but I'm looking at the days that have led to the final day where the people in Kalangala will be going to the polls. I've watched the campaigns, the turnout, and the character of campaigns has been quite low.
Look, no, you see, I mean, and I think that is something that we should not describe in the negative. I do not know what you would characterize as a non-lukewarm campaign. Is it the amount of noise? Is it the number of vehicles? This place, you don't have very many vehicles. They are mostly canoes. Canoes don't make noise. Canoes don't make noise when they're on the water. So I think you need to have the context of the election, the environment in which it is happening, the physical setup. But from what we've seen, we've been seeing people excited. We've been seeing people coming up. We've been seeing people listening to the candidates. And so,
Mr. Mchunguzi,
lukewarm would not be the way I would define it.
Mr. Mchunguzi, I need to take you on here. Historically, at least I witnessed the rallies that Nachimuli used to hold in Kalangala before her demise. May her soul rest in peace.
Yes.
They had...
So sad, so tragic.
Yes, they had a lot of vibe. So were the rallies of her contender, Nabaiga, then. There was vibe. This time, it's totally different. It's a far cry from what happened.
Unfortunately, Simon, I did not measure the extent of the vibe, and I'm not aware of the yardstick. When you are going to help me, when you say vibe, what exactly do you mean?
The turnout was always...
Because for me...
No. The turnout was always huge from supporters who yearned...
At the rallies?
Yes, at the rallies, yes.
Now, that is a matter that the spokesperson of the Electoral Commission may not be able to answer. But perhaps it will require that you speak to the people. You speak to those who show up. You also speak to those who don't turn up at the rally and how they get their information about the campaign process. But for us, we believe once you have candidates who have had the opportunity to move in the islands and meet their people, and the people have shown up in whatever numbers they have, you see, it should not be something that should... What should really concern us is tomorrow. Those that will turn up to actually walk the talk. You know, Simon, you and I read the Bible. Rallies may not necessarily mean much, because the rallies, the big rallies who received Jesus in Jerusalem on the triumphal entry with palms were the ones who a week later were saying that crucify him, crucify him. So really, the point is walking the talk of what you've had and going out to actually cast your ballot. The call of the commission, and I believe the call of candidates, their supporters, their agents, is that whoever knows, and we believe that everybody in Kalangala who is a registered voter knows that tomorrow, the 24th of June, is polling day to elect a district MP. Whoever knows and who has not known should know now that tomorrow is voting day, and they should wake up early and go to the 115 polling stations across the 84 islands and cast their ballot. Campaigns have ended. Now it is the real point of the rubber meeting the tarmac, which is at the ballot box.
Well, do you worry that this time the voter turnout could be less than what was witnessed in the past episode?
I am an eternally optimistic person, and I am not hoping that the people of Kalangala will not turn up tomorrow. I have every confidence, and I believe, and I would like to call, and the commission would like to call on the people of Kalangala to turn up tomorrow to elect their member of parliament. No one should stay back. No registered voter should stay back. But when you speak about generally the issue of voter turnout, the challenge of voter turnout, it has been a global phenomenon, not just in Uganda alone. We've been comparing notes in different jurisdictions, and generally we see that people have not been turning up as much as one would expect to go to the ballot. But what is the solution to this? This is a matter that requires research and study. You cannot afford to speculate about it. You need to know. People are aware about the candidates, they are aware about the processes, they are aware about the polling dates. In the case, for instance, of our general elections, the Electoral Commission always announces a roadmap 2 years in advance, and every step of the way, information goes out, candidates traverse the country, and then the polling day comes, and those who turn up, and those who don't turn up, don't turn up. In fact, one of the things that the commission is doing, the commission is commissioning a nationwide post-election evaluation exercise, which is actually going to be launched already this week or next week, where we will engage all critical stakeholders in the electoral process. And one of the questions that we will be asking and seeking feedback on is, if you knew that today is a polling day, if you knew where a polling station is, if you knew the candidates that are contesting, why is it that your neighbor went and voted, and for you, you stayed at home? That is going to be informative, so that we can design solutions that are specific, that are tailor-made, that are precise, addressing a critical matter. And obviously, as the commission who is responsible for organization and conducting elections, when we organize and cook the food and prepare all the birungo and put in the katunguru chumu and even go to Sebutinde and bring everything that people need to have, and then people don't show up, it concerns us, but should concern even beyond the Electoral Commission, and it does, because when candidates are walking along the different path, crossing this lake, going to all the islands, going in the mountains and the valleys, they are telling people to come out and vote for them. When civil society is mobilizing people on governance, when the media is telling these stories about electoral processes, the expectation and call is that people should turn up. When they don't, it should concern all of us. But most even importantly, is that the planning of elections is based on a number of cost drivers. And one of the cost drivers is the number of registered voters. The more the registered voters, the more the polling stations, the more the areas of representation, the more the ballot papers are printed. So if all that cost that is borne by the citizens of Uganda is not put to good use because people have not turned up, it should concern all of us. And that is why the Commission has been and continues to be consistent on the fact that to have a credible election, an election that has a turnout that is pleasant and that brings pride to the country, is a responsibility of the Electoral Commission as the body responsible for organizing elections, for the candidates, for political parties. Political parties have a responsibility of mobilizing. They register voters. They register their supporters. And this party will tell you, we have this many supporters in this place, we have many supporters in this place. The critical point is to make sure that those people that are members of political parties actually don't stop at being members carrying the party card, DP, UPC, NRM, NUP, and the others, but that they actually walk the talk of their membership, walk the talk of their desire to lead and get their people on the ground to head to the polling stations. It concerns us, it is concerning, and it needs a solution, and that solution requires collective action.
How unique is the by-election that is looming in Kalangala compared to other by-elections that you've held over the years?
Kalangala is an island district of over 80 islands. And on each of those islands, those that are habited, some have few people, others have many people. So already the nature of the physical setup and access is one that is described as a hard to reach area of electoral space. So distribution of materials, and already that is why the Commission already made sure that materials are already at the district headquarters to make sure that in the course of the night tonight, people will make sure that they weigh the waves on the sea, on the lake, to make sure that materials reach in time. So there are logistical uniqueness that are different from mainlands where you get a border or you get a taxi or you get a car and you just move. So there is that uniqueness of access, of reaching people. But the Commission, as you know, has a polling station in each of these places that are habited, 115 of them polling stations. So that is the first one. The rest of the other issues are really standard because all by-elections are guided by the law. The roadmap towards this by-election has followed and continues to follow the procedures, the processes, the legal provisions of the requirements, of guidelines, so in terms of the legal and procedure and processes, they are the same. Campaigns have happened, nominations happened, the update of the voters' registers happened, the display of the register happened. It is only in terms of access, movement, travel, logistics, where extra effort has to be put in to make sure that no voter is differentiated or no voter fails to exercise their mandate in the law because of where they live. But I must also say that Kalangala is beautiful. Kalangala is a very beautiful land, beautiful islands, calm. the people are generally, they're very calm, really. And maybe that also explains what you described in the campaign. So, in terms of preparation, in terms of what is required, in terms of nothing is out of the ordinary in terms of organizing a by-election. Obviously, it is so unfortunate,
Julius,
that we lost. Yes.
Julius, in the outcome of the January election, there was contention on the voters' register. Nabaiga was contesting the numbers that Nachimuli garnered, and among the complaints was a bloated voters' register. Have you had time to clean the register and also resolve some of the sticky issues that were raised in the past election?
You know, the compilation, the law, Article 61 of the Constitution gives, among the functions of the Electoral Commission, is to compile and a voters register. That process of compilation of the national voters register is a standard requirement before any election. And it was before the general election that we had. It has been a requirement in the law to update the voters register for Kalangala district before this particular by-election. And this is how it happens. And I want you to see how the register that we have goes through a series of processes to ensure that it is credible. First, there is a period in the law where voters who qualify, citizens who qualify, they are citizens, they are 18 and above, they reside or originate from those particular places, are called upon to go and register. Those who are already on the register don't need to do that. But there are new ones who have turned 18 or who have recently relocated to these places. That exercise of the update gives a chance to new voters, gives the chance to those people who want to make transfers of voting locations, and that phase is completed. When it is completed, there is a period of the display of that voters register at each of the polling stations in that particular area. Each one of them pinned in a public space, and the public and the voters are called upon to come. Come check that your particulars are correct. Come and check and make sure that the dead are not on the register. Come and flag those you believe should not be in this particular polling station. All of that process happens, and the outcomes of that update and the feedback and the complaints for omission or deletion are subjected to a tribunal, a parish tribunal of all respected people in a parish that are constituted according to the law, to explain, to go through the complaints that have emerged. Because somebody can say, Kagwanga does not originate from here or does not reside here. Somebody can flag you off as dead, and they say this one died, and you come and say, no, I have not yet died. I will first vote, and then I can meet my creator. So that tribunal does that across the country, and it was also done here in Kalangala. There was a tribunal period. And so then now you are able, after the tribunal recommendations, to have what you would call a final register. What this means, Simon, is that if the public and the voters have a responsibility of making sure that the register is clean. Political parties are involved, candidates are involved, agents are involved. So a voters register that we have is a function of the contribution of all of the actors, and the commission plays that role of ensuring that the dead are removed.
Yes.
The non-resident.
What you're saying is the given, but the reality is different. There have always been complaints about the register, and in this particular case for Kalangala, there was contention about the register, and it's coming up again because stakeholders from the National Inter-Platform have raised questions about this register. They have also complained about voter bribery that is apparent in the area, plus intimidation by the forces. Have you been able to?
You see, you know, Simon. You see, first of all, a voters register has no political color. When somebody is being registered as a voter, they do not ask them what political party they support, whether they are independents, whether they are yellow, red, blue, green, or whatever. It is the requirements of a voter. The criteria of who qualifies as a voter is defined in the law. Article 59, the right to vote, and then it outlines that you must be a citizen, number one. Number two, you must be 18 years and above. Number three, that you must be a resident or originating from the area where you want to vote. And then you become a voter. There are mechanisms. Thankfully, the electoral laws provided for mechanisms of seeking redress and raising complaints on any matter relating to elections. From the update of the voters register to the organization polling station, demarcation, and everything in between. Some of the complaints are handled by the Electoral Commission. The Commission constitutes itself into a tribunal and listens to complaints that are brought to it. I am not aware of a complaint in respect of the voters register. But also, beyond that, the laws provide that if you have a fundamental issue and you have evidence, you can proceed and even go to court. We believe and we know that the voters register we have for Kalangala, for this by-election, is credible, it is factual, it has real people that, and it has gone through the process, the due processes of producing that voters register. If anybody has information and evidence to the contrary, they are very much at liberty to seek redress through the provisions that are in the law, that are legal, and that are acceptable.
How about the issue of voter intimidation and bribery?
Now, the question is who bribes who? Who intimidates who? Is it voter against voter? Is it candidate against candidate? Is it what? First, there is no room. There is no room for bribery in elections. Bribery is an offense, and there are penalties if evidence is brought to demonstrate and show that there was bribery. So if anybody has evidence on bribery, they should collect that evidence and make sure that they avail it to the right processes of the law. Intimidation has no place in elections, because elections, as we've already said, the elections, as the Electoral Commission has already said, is a civil process. It is a process anchored in our Constitution of 1995, through which people should choose their leaders in an atmosphere of freedom, in an atmosphere of free and fair environment. There should be, and there is no space for intimidating anybody to vote for you or not to vote for another person.
Have these complaints...
Again, intimidation and violence.
Have these complaints reached your desk at all, or they're just complaining to the media?
To the best of my knowledge, I have not seen any written, because the complaints mechanism is known. You know, you put it in writing and back it with the evidence. Unless if they came in a few tonight or last night or yesterday, but we have not received, as far as I am aware, of complaints about on bribery with evidence. But if they are there, and if they emerge, the mechanisms for addressing them or hearing and determining the authenticity remain open. The Commission remains very open to receive any feedback, any complaint that anybody in the electoral process may have, be it a voter, be it a candidate, be it an agent, be it security, be it media, be it anybody.
Well,
but what I should say, and what the Commission wants to say, especially as we head tomorrow, let us keep the peace. Let us follow the law. All of us, everybody, from Electoral Commission officials to candidates, to their agents, to voters, to security, to media, to civil society, no one is above the law when it comes to electoral laws, and let us all follow the law.
Well, Mr. Mchunguzi, there was a hiccup yesterday where NUP was blocked from hosting its final rally at Kalu landing site under the pretext that it was so close to where the president was meant to address supporters of the NRM. Doesn't this give unnecessary vantage to the NRM over NUP?
I arrived last night. Of course, I've been following. I don't have all of the facts with me on what you are describing. But what I know about campaign programs is that before the campaign is started, all of the candidates and their agents and security under the chairpersonship of the Electoral Commission, the returning officer in this area, met and agreed and harmonized the campaign program. And they said that if there is any change or a request for any change, that change is submitted to the commission. The commission then contacts and convenes the others to say there is a request for this adjustment in the program, because the program is harmonized, but it's not laid and cast in stone. Some things can come up. And there is a mechanism within the framework of the conducting of elections of addressing the issues that may emerge regarding the campaign program. I don't have the full facts of the particular incident that you described, but I can tell you that as far as we know, the campaigns have been conducted peacefully over the period of the campaign period. I would need to get the facts about the incident you described to know what exactly happened.
Short break. Thank you very much for staying with us and sharing with us all that we need to know about Kalangala as voters, more than 40,000 voters, will be going to the polls tomorrow. What is at stake? We'll be back.
The problem is the foundation.
You know the kind of cement I'm using in this foundation? I guarantee you even my grandchildren will come and find this house.
You buy your buy today and get the job done. Strong, reliable, available at hardware shops countrywide.
In the heart of Kampala, arrival is pure ease, uncompromising warmth. Finally, a moment to breathe. Step into a sanctuary of quiet luxury where the world slows down and time is entirely yours. As the sun shifts, the city turns to gold. This is dining as it should be. Unforgettable. Night settles softly. This is peace above it all. A British hotel and apartments. Comfort, elegant, luxurious.
I'm called Awidi Isabella. I'm studying from Villa Maria School of Nursing. I've won a school fees with the MTN Momo. This school fees you win for a full year, which I'm very happy for it. I thank MTN Momo for helping me in paying my school fees.
We've paid all the fees for the year.
Thank you very much, because on Wednesday, the principal told me, look for my man and bring my man. I told her, me, I don't have man, and you have to wait until I get the money. But when I left our office, at 3, they called me that you have won the money from Momo. I said, how does it happen?
As long as you pay school fees using Momo, you stand a chance to win school fees for a year. Dial *165 *80# to win school fees for a year and more.
abakozi bakyayambala ebintu ebyo bisambala bannannyini makolero zi kampuni abakozi mu bafunira uniforms eziri ku mulembe okuva mu Jude Color Solutions banyirire bafulume mu material ne design ebiriko ate nga kuliko n'akabonero ka kampuni yo olwo business ogiba abantu mu maaso bagimanye tosubwa campaign eno omulamu akugamba nti stand out mu uniform yo ne Jude Color Solutions bali ku Prime Complex ku Johnson Street shop number C24 esimu noti 7772 anamu 5 29 wamu ne ku www.judecolorsolutions.com.
Why pay for someone else's repairs? Say goodbye to hidden costs and hello to peace of mind of a brand new start. Discover the Suzuki range of unmatched, fuel-efficient and reliable options. From the iconic Jimny to the new Across Hybrid. Find the perfect blend of style and world-class efficiency. Upgrade today and enjoy 1 year of free fuel and comprehensive insurance, plus 2 years of free service and a 3-year warranty. Trade in your current car or choose financing to start driving as you pay installments. Don't wait. Visit the Suzuki showroom today or call 0800 211 033 to get started.
Ready to kickstart your body goals? Look no further. Vine Fitness Gym has got you covered. Located in the heart of Bokoto, Vine Fitness is the state-of-the-art fitness center packed with everything you need to hit your body goals. From the cutting-edge cardio machines and strength training equipment to fully equipped functional training zones and relaxing areas, all designed to support your fitness and wellness journey. Looking to tone your body, build muscle? Our program includes expert strength training and even access to our steam bath. So what are you waiting for? Visit us today at Chirabo Complex, 3rd floor, Bukoto. Vine Fitness Gym, your body, your goal, your gym.
Uganda is more connected than ever before. From mobile broadband to digital payments, access is no longer the challenge. But the real question is, how do we turn this connectivity into real opportunity? Introducing the State of the Digital Economy 2026, Uganda's annual digital check on how we go beyond connectivity to jobs, innovation, and economic growth. Across 5 key pillars: human capital, cybersecurity, policy, artificial intelligence, and infrastructure. This is how we build a workforce that creates, unlock digital jobs and income, ensure trust and security, enable smarter policies, and connect Ugandans to global opportunities. Don't just be online, be part of what's next. Partner with us to shape Uganda's digital future.
Welcome back as we continue shining a spotlight on Kalangala ahead of tomorrow's by-election for the woman member of parliament to replace the late Helen Nachimuli. Well, the process has been on. The climax was yesterday when candidates made their final push in different places. NRM is featuring Ida Nabaiga, while the National Interplatform is featuring Nampala. Well, it's more of a tight race. Nampala is sister to the late Helen Nachimuli. But what is defining the stakes and causing a lot of concern are the numbers. The turnout apparently appears to be pointing to a low voter turnout, given the numbers that have been attending rallies and a few hiccups that have been reported by different stakeholders across. What is at stake? What are the odds? And definitely, what kind of reality check do we need to shine on Kalangala remains the big question for the day. We still have Julius Muchunguzi, the spokesperson of the Electoral Commission, online to share with us some of the critical things that we need to know about Kalangala. 115 polling stations, and we estimate about 40,000+ voters. Well, Mr. Julius Muchunguzi, One of the things that have always characterized elections is the role of the military, the role of security that tends to meddle into election. The RDCs who are becoming a nuisance in many ways. They become a nuisance on voting day, plus of course counter instructions coming in from here and there. Who is in charge of the election is another question that we'll be asking Mr. Muchunguzi. But among the biggest fears, that have characterized this election is the fear of the state influence. Well, yesterday, President Museveni was combing Kalangala, and we just need to give you a recap of some of the issues that he raised when he went to Kalangala, the promises, and of course, the campaign, the message. Take a look.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who is also the national chairman of the NRM, arrived in Kalangala to campaign for the party's flag bearer, Aida Nabaiga. During the rally, residents raised concerns about the hardships they have faced following the closure of parts of the lake to certain fishing activities.
Because when you look at the young people no longer go to school, families have been abandoned, and now the nature of life of the islanders is in a very big turmoil.
The government halted Mukene fishing, a move that many fishermen said affected their livelihoods as it was their primary source of income. Residents told the president that many families are struggling to meet basic needs and that some children have dropped out of school due to financial difficulties. President Museveni directed State Minister for Fisheries, Robert Migade, to explain the government's position regarding fishing regulations on the lake. However, some fishermen interrupted the minister, insisting that information he was presenting did not reflect the realities they were experiencing. The president assured residents that the government would thoroughly review all issues affecting fishing on the Lake Victoria with the aim of ensuring sustainable management of the lake while safeguarding the livelihoods of fishing communities.
Kubanga nabuuza nti bano abali ku nyanja banansangawo nti nedda nti bajja ne bava Kongo ne bava ne bajja ne bawamba ennyanja wano kati omutaka nansangawo ali luddawo wano omutaka nansangwawo.
Minister Robert Migade, on his part, said the government remains committed to restoring order in the fisheries sector and would not backtrack on efforts aimed at protecting the lake and its resources.
Because when the fisheries law was passed in 2023, there was supposed to be regulations. So we have already committed that within 2 months, the regulations will be out, where we shall stipulate every method. Because today we cannot make a directive on Mukene, then tomorrow we do another one on hooks, next week we do another one on Nairo Patch.
President Museveni also pledged to strengthen water transport services in the island district by increasing the number of ferries operating on the lake. NRM candidate Aida Nabaiga thanked the president for the commitments made to the district and urged voters to elect her so that she can follow up on the implementation of the government's pledges.
I will go and remind the president of the different promises that he has made today. So don't make a mistake of voting any other person.
The Kalangala District Woman MP by-election is just 1 day away, with voters expected to head to the polls on...
Well, Kalangala turns out to be a very interesting affair. While the president was making the final pitch for Aida Nabaiga on the other side, the National Unity Platform was outraged by the move by the Electoral Commission to cancel their rally at the last minute. However, they were also able to make a few addresses here and there. We just want to give you a recap of what happened.
Although today was the final day of campaigns in Kalangala district, NUP leaders and their candidate Irene Nampala were unable to hold their scheduled rally According to the Electoral Commission campaign program, NUP had planned to conclude its campaigns at Kala Playground in Kalangala Town Council. However, the rally did not take place. Addressing journalists in Kalangala, NUP leaders, together with their flag bearer Irene Nampala, said they had been scheduled to campaign at Kala Playground but were informed by security personnel that they could not use the venue because President Yoweri Museveni was expected to hold a rally there.
But abana Kalanga n'abana Uganda balina okitegeera nti okustopinga ife obutaba final rally tikitegeeza nti amagye gaviire ku nnanda.
We call upon the Electoral Commission to stand firm, to stand for fairness in this country. You have a word independent before your word Electoral Commission. Please show that, utilize that independence, and let's have a Uganda which respects the law. We really call upon the Electoral Commission to stand firm. And finally, we call upon every voter in Kalangala. Right now, we may have been refused the rally, but we've not been refused to vote.
The NUP leaders say that after being denied access to the Kala Playground venue, they requested permission to hold their rally at another location on Chitobo Island. They say the request was also rejected after they were informed that another candidate would be conducting campaign activities there. The party leaders said they were left without a venue for their final campaign rally and expressed disappointment over the situation.
Yeah, we are affected because it is in that rally that we expected our president, His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi, to address the people of Kalangala. We expected all our leaders, including our acting president, Dr. Lina Zedriga, the leader of opposition, Joel Sonyonyi, we had preserved them to come and address the people of Kalangala from that main rally.
That is a sign that they are fearing what you, the people of Kalangala, they are fearing your voice. But we pray that on Wednesday you come and speak with one voice.
Despite failing to hold the final rally, the NUP leaders maintain that voters were already aware of the issues affecting the district and would make their decision at the ballot box.
Well, that's how things stood out yesterday. We've made every effort to speak to the National Unity Platform. Unfortunately, most of the people that we contacted to be our guests this morning declined. Well, we have NRM on the other side. Dr. Tango Doi joins us from Kalangala. Dr. Tango Doi is the chairperson of the Electoral Commission in the National Resistance Movement. Doctor, good morning. You lost in...
Good morning, Simon. Good morning, Simon.
You've lost Kalangala twice to Helen Nachimuli. What gives you the confidence that this time the odds are on your side?
Well, having been beaten, like you said, twice, we've learned our lesson. Ours was largely a result of internal division, intrigue within the party members, and I think we've sorted this hands down. We are ready for this election tomorrow. We are law-abiding citizens. We are going by the law, and I think we shall do our best. And our best is to win by over 60%. The only fear we have with by-election is the voter turnout, the low voter turnout. If the apathy does not affect this election, I think we should win this election by over 65%. Our candidate has been good. Our candidate has actually mended fences with those who had problems with her. And we have also talked to the leaders who had actually helped the win by the late former member of parliament. May her soul rest in peace. So we are ready, and we are sure we have learned our lesson. We corrected our mistakes, and we should win this election this time.
Well, apparently there seems to be a bit of division still within the NRM. We had Honorable Namere coming out boldly to say she can't move to Kalangala because she was close to the late Helen Nachimuli. She was literally campaigning for Nampala. What does this tell you?
Well, I think I've not heard the audio by Honorable Namere directly, but I was told that she actually said she was related, she was in a way related to the late Nachimuli, and she stood her ground that the heart of hearts tells her not to participate. But not participating does not mean she should get out of the board to decampaign the process. You know, when you're a leader, you must learn to be a leader. When you're a leader of a political party, you must make sure you have some bit of respect and have issues solved internally. So if she goes to the press against the party, then it's unfortunate. But I can tell you, Honorable Namere notwithstanding, or that position notwithstanding, the people here showed the president yesterday maximum respect. They showed that they are ready for the party election. They are ready for this coming election. They are actually, the mood is so good, the camp is so organized, the mobilization was so good, and I think with vote protection for which I've come, we should be able to carry the day, notwithstanding any of our own members saying this or the other. Yes, Honorable Namere is entitled to her view, but I think she should not go to the public purview to portray that the NRM house is divided. Well, that's for another day. I don't think I have time for that. I now need time to do the final bits, train agents, do whatever it takes, correct mistakes which are still there, and make sure, like Shikume, we win Kalangala for NRM. Because NRM has done a lot for Kalangala. NRM has put the ferries. The president has promised more ferries. The only hitch is the regulation on fishing. The regulation on fishing that affects the fishing community. But that will also be sorted. It is not insurmountable. NRM will sort that, and we shall get on. But for today, I call upon all NRM people to turn up in large numbers. Turn up in large numbers. Leave this argument that NRM has already won even if we don't go. Go and vote, and let us secure this win, and Kalangala should grow and grow.
Well, Irene Nampala comes from a vantage point of sympathy. Traditionally, sympathy votes normally attract quite a huge turnout, or rather an advantage to the candidates. Isn't this a big threat to you?
No, first of all, I think within the NUP house, there was also division. And, well, we don't enjoy their division, but as political parties, we take advantage of whatever comes. They had division over who should be the candidate, and I think that plays well to our advantage. Well, the late sister comes from Luwero, and I've been hearing the people here saying they want to vote their own. Ida Nabayiga has been here, she was born here, she was raised here, she has done a lot here. And I think the people have eventually said they have their own, they are not going to import candidates from Luwero anymore. I quite think the so-called sympathy vote is simply conspiracy theory, and it will not work here.
Why did you have to ferry NRM supporters to Kalangala from the mainland?
Well, we ferry NRM supporters from the islands to the mainland to listen to the president's speech. But yesterday we couldn't do because the lakes were so difficult. The lakes were bad, the lake was a bit unstable, and we did not get a turnout from the islands to the mainland. If you go to Chamuswa, Chamuswa has so many islands. So if we had ferried them to listen to His Excellency's speech, because we didn't have time to make 2 rallies, we should have ferried them across the lake. But we did not do that. About ferrying them from which mainland, I think we are supposed to ferry them from the islands of Kalangala to the mainland, the town council, so that they listen to the president. And that did not happen because of the waters being so rough.
We've also gathered reports that Honorable Kasolo and several other NRM stalwarts are busy dishing money to supporters.
I've been with these people. I've not seen them. In fact, we don't have enough money for our own running. And we sat yesterday in a meeting. We even did some mini fundraising. I don't think that is true. The Honorable Kasolo, as vice chairperson of Central, is simply here to do his work as an NRM guru and others. I don't think there was any money dishing out because we don't have money. We actually fundraised and we got 24 million from fundraising from the business community here. So how would we fundraise because we don't have money, then again we dish out the money? I think it is a bit contradictory. That is simply part of the conspiracy theory of failures. They have noted that they are going to fail. They tried to cause a stalemate about a venue of a rally, and even that did not happen. So I think they have really lost it this time.
Unlike the past by-elections that have had a lot of hysteria, this one is so lukewarm. Does it tell you anything?
Yeah, you know, it is Kampala people who actually tend to mess up by-elections. The people we find on the ground are always very comfortable and peaceful people. We saw this in Shikume, very peaceful people, and when they came for the final address by the National Electoral Commission, they were raising allegations A, B, C, D, which were not even connected to what the commission should do. Even today, they were raising issues here that the rally they were supposed to have in the main ground of the town council, the ground was hijacked. You know, they wanted simply to cause a kind of a situation, a kind of scene for them to exploit. But the people here have seen it all. The people are peaceful. They have no problem with us. They know what NRM has done. If you really want to visit an island, tourists, even local tourists should visit Kalangala. Come for yourself, see what NRM has done here. There's a very good road from Masaka, 36 kilometers to Bukakata. There's a very good paved road from Bukakata, from the ferry, after the ferry, up to the town. I think we should also come and boost Kalangala. Those who have put up hotels like Brovard, Mizi, the Address, these hotels are working so well. So I don't think we need to rock the boat. Kalangala is peaceful, the people are peaceful, election is a one-day event, the process of life will continue. So if NUP fears a defeat, they should not actually scapegoat by actually turning on NRM as a reason. They don't have what to say here, the people are ready, and we are going to vote, and we are going to win. NRM will win this election too.
Well,
I can assure you.
Dr. Tanga, you won Chikube, whose voter turnout was, for lack of a better word, appalling. Even as you claim that you're going to win this one, the turnout, the indicators the turnout is likely to be so low. Does this apathy cause any worry to you?
Yes, I said that in the beginning, that we are simply worried of apathy and the low voter turnout. But that notwithstanding, the voters who will come will decide. And I'm sure NRM voters are being sensitized to turnout. The only thing we want to assure the people is that there is a peaceful situation in Kalangala. The voters should not get scared that, of course, they will beat us if we vote NRM. You have been NRM for a long time. We don't need these small kind of situations to deter you from voting. We are always very, very concerned about voter turnout when we come to by-election. It is not only Shikube, it is not only Kalangala. In most of the by-elections, we've been having that problem of voter turnout. So we are actually drumming up our supporters to come up in large numbers. And if we can get 55% turning out, that could be very good for us. Notwithstanding that, I still say we shall win by the right cause. We have the right issues to say. We have the processes. We are going to follow the law. And NRM should be able to come out victorious in this election.
Well, you're coming with a huge baggage of unfulfilled promises for the fisher community. Plus, of course, the high levels of torture and brutality meted out by the fishing police. Do you think this could work against you to a great extent?
Well, we've met members of the fishing community and we've heard their plight and complaints. We've met them. We've realized that the lake is their source of income, but we have also realized that the government was doing a right thing to actually ensure that under fishing or fishing, the fishing should follow regulations. The regulations have delayed, and I think the government side is working so hard. We have now a good minister of fisheries who comes from the fishing communities of Buvuma, Honorable Migadde, and I think all is good. Even when we met the fishing communities here, what they are saying is that there are those who come from Masaka, there are those who come from Zimbabwe and come to fish with illegal gears or illegal nets. They want that to be sorted, and I think the government side is handling that. The security side is handling that. They're also talking about those who come from across other countries, Tanzania, and torture the fishing community, torture our members, take their boats, and even drown them. And I think that one is being handled at bilateral international level. So, yes, there are problems, but we have to explain to them. We have to actually say we must diversify our thinking. You must not think without fish you cannot survive. You cannot say without, the lake should not be depleted of fish. Because if you add fish and deplete the lakes, then what will you rely on? So the government policy has been, let us restrict so that we actually have a bumper harvest of fish when we have to fish. And even when we have to fish, let us use the right gear. And yet NBS make sure that the fishing community is given nets which are recommended, not these ones which are smuggled from neighboring countries into the lakes. So it's an issue, but we are handling it.
Well, there is also a reality that NRM's traction in Buganda remains quite low. How are you battling to reverse this, especially in the Kalangala by-election?
Well, Kalangala will not be the epitome of our work in Buganda. Our work in Buganda has started. It started before the presidential election, and we are continuing with it. There's just need for sensitization of Buganda. You know, there's this paranoia that there's a Buganda question. There's this paranoia people create in the mind of people that there's a Buganda question. Yet these are individual questions, then they make a whole ethnic group appear to be against the government. I think this is being handled differently. This is being handled at different levels, and with time, we should be able to sort out the liars away from the truth tellers. NRM has done a lot in Buganda. Buganda has gained. Whether you want ministerial position, you find Buganda has more. Whatever you want is done in Buganda first. If you want coffee, the experimentation is in Buganda. If you want roads, the roads are done better in Buganda. So I don't see a Buganda question tabulating Kalangala. Kalangala should be seen as a specific role, a specific area where issues of Kalangala should be addressed as issues of Kalangala, not to be instrumentalized as a Buganda question.
How desperate is NRM to reclaim Kalangala, given that it's been several years under the hands of the National Unity Party?
As chair of the NRM Electoral Commission, I wanted all flag bearers of NRM to be in Parliament. We are not desperate, but we are not comfortable seeing Kalangala remain under the hands of opposition who can do nothing. So we have come to reclaim it, as you have said, because first of all, Shamuswa is under NRM. If you find the Bujumbura is under NRM, Bujumbi, I think Bujumbi or Bujumbura, is under NRM. If you want the councillors, we have more councillors, NRM than NUP. If you want the district chair, is under NRM. It is only one slot, the woman member of parliament, I mean the district woman member of parliament, which had gone to the late Nashimuli. And I'm told she had been a lady who was not so rigid within political lines. She had been crossing political lines to canvass votes even among the NRM people. And you know, there are people who vote pleasant personalities. There are people who vote because someone has actually stooped low. So this time round, I think this other substitute is not the able substitute of to substitute Messi in an Argentina team. This is a substitute who was just called upon to take over because they think sympathy vote will work. That conspiracy theory of sympathy votes may not work here this time. I wish to declare.
Okay, do you realize that Honorable Kyagulanyi still has quite a big traction on the ground in Kalangala? Is he a force to reckon with?
Well, I can't say yes or no. I'm always a researcher, but I don't see much of it here now. You know, the more you distance yourself from the voters, the more you actually go and eat burgers and pleasantries in another country, and you leave your voters in apathy. You know, you don't appeal to them all round. You may appeal to the few, but not all of them. People want reality. People want to see you suffer with them. People want to see you actually be with them at every situation. But if at one situation you are enjoying and you leave your so-called fishing communities in dire poverty, then you are not part of what they want. Leaders must be leaders, time-tested, to stand with the people in the difficult moments. NRM and the leadership of President Museveni is doing that excellently. We are standing with the people for as long as the people are with us. We are running nowhere. The country is safe. The country is peaceful. Few mistakes are being made here and there, but those mistakes can be solved. They are not insurmountable. They are human mistakes which are not grandiose. I wish to submit.
How would you say that you're standing with the people, yet you've already acknowledged that you have quite a number of unfulfilled promises that have lingered on for years?
I don't think I've said anything about unfulfilled promises, because what I know is that the promise you are talking about is just the fishing community. The fishing community must be settled. I'm saying the regulations must be made. A country is not run on fear. A country is not run by panicking, and because there's an election in Kalangala, all laws should be put aside, the legs should be turned upside down. A country is run on very, very simple but clear policies. We don't expect the president to actually run here and there simply because there's a situation of Kalangala fishing community which has not been solved. The ministers are handling that. Those are the auxiliaries of government. The departments are handling that. If it is insecurity and security, the military is handling that as an auxiliary arm of the state. The state is not run by running away to another country, praising other countries, but leaving yours. The state is run by remaining in the fire, in the tunnels, and having a solution. NRM is solving almost all the promises have been made. If you see the schools here, you come to Kalangala and see their primary schools, they are better off. They are better off than some schools in Western Uganda. I've been working there, called a sub-region. The schools here are better. If you see the hotels we are staying in, I'm here in Brevard, the hotels are okay. The hotels are very good, the ambience is good. If you see the border riders, they actually complain about heat. They complain about sunshine. They need mabati roofs. But sunshine is a naturality of God. So I don't think it is actually that NRM has not fulfilled a lot. President yesterday promised to have ferries going to Shamuswa, another ferry going to other landing sites, so that the ferries should be timetabled to serve the people better. Because the people are complaining that these people operating the ferries run it as if it is personal business and on their own pleasant time. The president has instructed, you know, when the president mentions something even in the rally, that is a directive. He has directed that the ferry must have a clear timetable, like an aeroplane or the airlines industry. They must have stopover to help the people reach their points. And they're adding 4 more ferries here. So what else do you want NRM to do? The issue of fishing communities is that they must diversify their thinking. You must not think about only fish. What about if you wake up one morning and the lakes are dry of fish? God forbid. And you keep saying that you only know how to fish. What about the land where you stay? Can't you grow cassava? Can't you grow coffee? What about palm? I see palm grown here everywhere. So I think we must now help our people with mindset change. You must not say my father was a fisherman, I must live a fisherman and die a fisherman. That kind of thinking restricts Taria open to talents.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tango Doi, for speaking to us and projecting what NRM expects.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Have a lovely day. Well, that brings us to a close. And I really want to thank you very much. But before I sign you off, I need to remind you that Sendwave has juicy things for you, very exciting opportunities. In case you've been sending money to family and friends in Kenya, Nigeria, Rwanda or Tanzania, this is something for you. With Sendwave Wallet, you can hold and send digital dollars and cash out in Ugandan shillings whenever you're ready. Remember, each digital dollar is backed up by 1 actual US dollar. You can also make fee-free transfers between Sendwave wallets across 110 plus. I repeat, 110 plus countries, which means you can send money directly from your SendWave wallet to another SendWave wallet without transfer fees. So your friends and family can hold their money in digital dollars and cash it out in their local currencies whenever they wish. Just download the SendWave wallet app directly from Play Store or App Store. Find your wallet with $10 using the promo code NEXT and get $5 on us. SendWave makes money on the exchange rate. Terms and conditions apply. Have a lovely day and cheers.
Every taxi, truck, bus or boda you see on the road is a business. And every time you don't take good care of it, you risk losing money. That's why we created Union Oil to keep your vehicle's engine well oiled and your business running smoothly.
Ono ye wafe, boda, taxi, bus and truck drivers, not forgetting Uber Mike. Union engine oil for superior protection and high engine performance. Order from any Union depot or Union stockist duka. Union, the better way.
This week on NBS Sport.
It is round 5 where the heat stands up in Garuga, the Mountain Dew motocross. It was a fight for the win. The ladies class was such a competitive class.
I've just joined 65 this year. Reach them more, and like they have done, they keep doing this again.
The heat was turned up, the raves were on, the bikes were running. See all this action for yourself. Just sit back, relax, strap your seatbelt, and let the action begin.
The world is going digital and creativity is no longer just a passion, it's a pathway. Next Creator is building dignified job opportunities for young people by turning creativity into real careers. It's about more than just content. It's about learning digital skills that lead to sustainable income, branding yourself with confidence, understanding influence and the digital economy. Next Creator equips young creatives with the tools they need to grow, adapt and thrive in a fast-changing world. If you want to turn your ideas into opportunities, if you want to make creativity work for you, this is where you start. Next Creator, your skills, your future, your opportunity.
Eno y'ensibuko y'obulungi bw'ennyaffe Uganda. Ensozi ezigulumidde n'ebibira ebiziyivu kyokka nga bikwesezaabu. Wali olabye ku mazike wakati mu kiragala, obuwangwa n'ennono ebyewuunyisa. Ebibuga, ebinyonyi, obutonde obweyagaza, kw'ossa amazina n'embeera z'abantu, byonna mu puroguramu Lambula.
Love doesn't end at I do. That's where the real journey begins. This year, the Bride and Groom Expo 2026 invites you to experience Beyond I Do, a journey of love, home and family.
From planning your dream wedding to building your dream home, from unforgettable honeymoons to starting a family and making the right financial decisions for your future, it's all here under one roof. Meet trusted experts in home living, real estate, finance, parenting and lifestyle. Discover ideas, solutions, and inspiration to guide your next chapter. Whether you're newly engaged, newly married, or building your future together, this is your complete life journey experience. Happening 26 to 28 June 2026 at the Uma Multipurpose Hall. To book a stall, call 0772 354 940. Don't just plan a wedding, plan beyond it.
Too many ads? Expensive subscription? You deserve better. And artists, thousands of plays, but nothing to show for it. This ends now. Introducing Yugatunes, the new home of your favorite music on Afro Mobile. Listeners, stream your favorite songs ad-free at no cost. Artists, earn from every stream. Withdraw your royalties anytime from as low as 20,000 Uganda shillings. This is music that pays off. This is music that belongs to you. Yugatunes, your sound, your stage, your reward.
June to 19 July, everything can wait. The FIFA World Cup 2026. Catch all 104 matches on 4 dedicated channels, live on SuperSport, only on GoTV.
Vibration. Drop it down. He said, what he wants to do, no lose a baby better.